I've been waiting to make this video for a minute. So yeah, the title of this video is not clickbait. So this video is going to be a couple of things. This is going to be a bit of a mental health video, but it's actually going to be a positive mental health video, which is nice. I'm going to talk a little bit about struggles I've had in the past with some not very good substance use, but there's a happy ending to the story, so don't worry about that. I'm also going to talk about where I am personally, Jake Weddle, but also where the channel is going, and I'm announcing some very, very fun projects as well. So this is a fun video, I promise. This is a good one. But first things first, let's address the clickbait. What's that? Hold on. Oh, Dawson texted me. He can wait. I had a bit of a Mulaney year, you know, as stand-ups often do. I want to talk a little bit about what that means, what got me there, and how things are now, if I may. If you clicked on it, so fuck off. So when I was living in New York, that was a wild time in my life, probably. I mean, hopefully. I go from working at a YouTube company in Greenville to being in New York, having a Mulaney year, 3 years. And now I'm in LA. Oh God, I wish my life was boring. But there was something about New York and something about having unresolved trauma from a litany of places and using unhealthy mechanisms to cope that can be a not super great cycle to find yourself in. And if you've been following me for a while, you've probably saw the seeds being planted. Cue montage of seeds being planted.
Is because if you think it's okay to dig up dirt on somebody, and what is dirt? Is it somebody at their worst? You know, maybe somebody who's struggling, somebody who's making a mistake, you know? And I have empathy for that. But if you just take a snapshot of somebody at their worst and use it with no context for the purpose of discrediting people who are trying to do the right thing, that's pretty gross.
And that made the happy chemicals go burr, okay? But that's dangerous. You know, doing things that are self-soothing, you know, when you're feeling down, it can feel good in the short term, but it can fuck you up in the long term. That's a scummy thing to do no matter what. And I think instead of taking a snapshot of somebody at their worst, you should help show the whole thing, but also help them.
Yeah.
You know, if they're having anger issues, or if they're you know, like having a drug problem, or if they're doing like let's say instead of murdering everybody for every little mistake, there's educational moments and there's rehabilitation, and there's, you know, like people should be allowed to, you know, make mistakes sometimes and not be their best selves and learn from it rather than condemn it, hide it. It's shameful, screenshot it, you know, and then use it for defaming somebody or silencing people. You know, the internet liked to speculate on my mental health, which is super fun, by the way. Doesn't it all make things worse when your mental health is at an all-time low and you're going through substance abuse issues and the internet is speculating on your stuff? That's like a Britney Spears over here, okay? Leave Jake Weddle alone! You know, there was some information floating around about me. You know, my private DMs were pillaged, and information that I enjoyed certain substances behind closed doors was getting around and paraded like a trophy. You know, and as a means for mockery. And I just find that gross. That's a gross thing to do, you know? Because I have plenty of people in my family with substance abuse issues, and now I myself am coming out of substance abuse issues. And I don't know, I'd never ridicule somebody for struggling, but the internet, that's like their favorite thing to do, is to ridicule people for struggling. And the reason why I'm making this video is because A, I'm not struggling anymore. I mean, every day a little bit, right? To each their own. But the place I'm in now, literally, figuratively, metaphorically, spiritually, it's pretty good. In fact, it's really good. I found myself surrounded by really, really fantastic people. I found myself in a really, really fantastic environment. And I've always had, like, people looking out for me, you know? I've always had a lot of fantastic people looking out for me. And some people, I exhausted them as a resource, which is super fair. I'm a lot. But that doesn't mean I'm not still thankful for those people, obviously. You know, for a while, it was really easy to hide it. I mean, to some people, to others, not so much. But that's because I'm a lot generally.
Like, I got this bit in my act. People always come up to me and they go, "Are you gay and are you on coke?" And my answer to both is not right now. You know, men's bathroom. I'm kidding. But no, like, even when I'm sober, you know, people assume things, right? Like when the internet was speculating, you know, oh, here Jake's on this, here Jake's on this. It's so funny because no. Like, there would be times where I'd be super, super, super sober and people were like, damn, he's tweaking. And it's like, you guys don't want to know what me tweaking's like. Because it's much worse. No, but when you have a lot of people all of a sudden looking in your direction at a time when you're not doing super hot, it is a kick in the pants to get better. Obviously, you know, hopefully. People who cared about me were really worried about me. And I got this problem where I don't do anything for myself, you know? Like, I only clean my room when a girl's coming over, and that's bad. You should just have a clean room, you know? So when it was really easy to hide this kind of stuff, you know, I thought, oh, the only person I'm hurting is myself, so what's the harm? We can break that down later in therapy, but which I'm in, by the way. And why even talk about this, like in a video? Like, who gives a shit, right? I think for accountability, you know, I want to stay clean. And I think if it's the public canon that I'm clean, then comedians will stop offering me cocaine. Because that's the thing, man. You do these open mics, you do these comedy shows, and you date these Midwest emo e-girls. I'm kidding. No, it's a party scene. It's a party scene. And you know, that's why I say I had a Mulaney year, you know, because that kind of environment, you know, you're surrounded by it, you know, and it's fun for a while, you know, but by the time it's not fun anymore, you're like, uh-oh, I'm in this now. And then you got to climb your way out of it. And I don't think I'd be making this video if I didn't feel like I successfully climbed. Cue the Miley Cyrus. Oh, I wish. Can we get the rights? Can we get the rights to Miley Cyrus as It's the Climb? No, but it's been really, really good. In fact, I as of 5 months, I haven't touched any hard substances. You know, and I was doing a lot. I was doing doing blow. I was doing Adderall. I have a prescription for Adderall, but I was doing more than my prescription. Now I don't take my Adderall unless I really, really, really have to, and I do less than my prescription. Because everything's a drug. You know, your phone's a drug, sex is a drug, instant social media gratification's a drug, alcohol's a drug. When you're around so many things that make the happy chemicals go burr, and you're really impulsive and bad at regulating yourself, you got to just get better at regulating yourself. So as of 5 months, I have been clean off of the various substances I was doing. And as of 2 weeks ago, I'm also no longer drinking because I was still drinking, and the drinking made it a lot harder to not do the other stuff. And so when that became apparent, I said, okay, we're not going to drink either. And not only has the first few months when I wasn't doing substances were those really, really, really good. I had other problems going on, but I'm really glad I was able to handle those problems sober. California sober. I still smoke weed. Let me be clear. It's California sober. All I do now is smoke weed, which is much better. But those first few months, you know, mentally were really good in that regard. And the last 2 months have been fantastic because I've been in LA and I've not been in the environment that was integral into pushing me into that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm still doing stand-up, but then I'm in LA, which, oh my God, you went to LA to get sober? Good move, guy. I hear you. Look, relax. In New York, it was crazy because you could get any drug you want in like 30 minutes. And that's another bit I did. You want to know why people are doing drugs now more than ever? It's because drugs are the only things that haven't kept up with inflation. You know, eggs are like $10. You know, my rent is half my income. You know, the other like fourth of it goes to fucking like bills and utilities and stuff. You know what the other 12% goes to? Whatever the hell I want. Get off my back, okay? No, drugs are the same price they've been since the 80s. If anything, compared to inflation, they're getting cheaper. $50 is not what it used to be, but it gets you the same amount of cocaine. And all my heroes, man. All my comedy heroes. Every single one of them died of a drug overdose. You know, they almost got Mulaney. Robin Williams did a bunch of cocaine in his earlier years. That's not what did him in, but, you know, thank God he quit. Belushi, Hedberg, Geraldo. Patrice O'Neal was diabetes, but no, I know I've been very lucky. I've been lucky over and over and over again. And sometimes it doesn't feel lucky. Like, oh my God, you get a job at like the biggest YouTube company in the world. That's lucky until it's not. Oh my God, you get a little bit of change in your pocket, a little bit of publicity. That's lucky until it's not. You know, all of the lucky breaks I've had in my life have been followed by their monkey's paw yin-yang, the not so fun back half. You know, I always feel like I'm experiencing really high highs and low lows at the same time, so I'm constantly in chaotic neutral.
This is my second take at this, by the way. The first time I was crying a lot, and you guys hate that. No, but I've been really lucky to have just really good friends, really great family. And I love comedy a lot. You know, I've always thought that stand-up was a place where, you know, and not all stand-up, but the stand-up I like is a place where, similar to music, you can get your stuff out there in an artistic medium. And that artistic medium can be like therapeutic for you to work some stuff out, you know? You can also distance yourself from it in that way. It can kind of give you power back, you know? That's why I do jokes with my dad. You know, I do jokes about abusive relationships I was in. You know, I want to do bits about my Mulaney year. Oh, I need to have my own Baby J special, and more on that later. Stand-up is a place where, if you're not careful, it can push you to that kind of stuff, you know? Toxic relationships with substance abuse, toxic relationships with parasocial audiences, toxic relationships generally, you know, with significant others, with your family, your friends, you know? Like, I didn't have to make this video. I could have just, you know, shut the fuck up and moved on and took the win. You know, because behind closed doors, I'm fucking thriving now. But if this helps me stay on the path I'm on, you know, if people are aware that this is what I'm trying to do, it might help me out a little bit. Also, if people see, you know, I watch a lot of videos of other people getting better. And like when I did the dog pack interview, you know, it came with a lot of hate, sure, but it also came with people reaching out to me saying that they were able to speak out against toxic work environments they were a part of. You know, they were able to call out people who were being abusive to them. And if that was helpful to people, and I know watching videos of other people getting better in the same situation that I was in with substance abuse issues, that helped me get a lot better. So if I could contribute to the pantheon of people who are saying to other people who are struggling, don't let people who mock you for it get you down because they're lesser, you know, emotionally. You know, people get triggered by people being vulnerable online. I found that out. People get so fucking triggered if you get emotional online, dude. They get so mad at you. That's because they don't have the capacity to be vulnerable. It's because they're triggered by authenticity and honesty. So I am here announcing, yes, I had a problem. I've been clean for 5 months, and as of 2 weeks, I've been California sober, so we're not drinking either. And I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to talk about it live. I'm going to talk about it on the road. This is a little impromptu, but I'm turning a trip home into a tour. I'm going to be at the Raleigh Comedy Fest on the 21st and 22nd. And me and my friends Dante and Nicole, who you've met on the channel, we're going to try to do some shows in Chicago. We're going to try to do some shows in Greenville. I'm doing a show in Brooklyn, actually, at the end of this string of shows, where I read off all of my death threats. The show is called Death Threat Comedy. And they said to me, Jake, when we put the show together, we had to get you on because we know you have the craziest, most absurd death threats from that stupid little Mr. Beast situation that you were in. And I was like, yes, I do. They started a death threat show and said, we gotta get Jake Weddle on. So they got Jake Weddle on. And so the name of that tour is going to be called the California Sober Tour. We got a little flyer right here. We're manifesting some of these dates. They're not all locked in place yet. We're hoping we can get them going. But we're going to be driving cross country in their van, which is sick as hell. We're going to be finding rinky-dink little open mics along the way to test some of this material out. And this special is going to be half stand-up, half behind the scenes, half, you know, tour, half putting the actual special together. It's going to be a really, really fun project, and I'm really, really excited to work on it. And all of the footage from that is going to be on a new channel. Actually, new channel announcement, because I'm shadow banned to hell. The new channel is going to be called Bunker Productions. It's going to be me, Dante, Nicole, and a bunch of my friends. We're going to be uploading a lot of content to that channel, whether it's stand-up, whether it's sketch, whether it's video essays, whether it's journalism. We don't really know what it's going to be yet. But all three of us are fucking shadow banned to hell. So we gotta have a new platform that has yet to be nuked. And it will eventually, don't get me wrong. If I'm even associated with it, it's gonna get nuked. But if you want to see footage from the California Sober Tour, if you want to see me, Dante, and Nicole do more work together, if you want to see what I got going on over there, please go over there and subscribe to Bunker Productions. We got a lot of really, really fun stuff happening over there. Now, this channel is still gonna be active. Don't get me wrong. I might be a little less active on here, but when I am active on here, it's gonna be something big. For a while, I was trying to pump stuff out just for the sake of pumping stuff out. But now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be more methodical and more precise with what we make. I'm going to be having video essays about stand-up comedy here. You know, the state of stand-up, the state of social media, the state of content creation. It's going to be a video essay channel about the only things I am qualified to talk about, being in the stand-up world for almost 14 years. And being in the YouTube space in the behind-the-scenes capacity that I've been in for the last 6 years. Things aren't great, and I'm going to talk about it. So if you want to see that, then please subscribe to this channel. If you want to see the California Sober Tour and what me, Dante, and Nicole have cooking up, then please go subscribe to Bunker Productions. And if I may be earnest, just for 2 more seconds. Thanks. Thank you. I say I had a Mulaney year, you know, but the last 5 years have really beat the shit out of me. And the last few months have been fantastic. The last few months have been fucking great. And I feel really good. I got a lot of people I could thank by name. But there's too many to name. People who were there for me over and over and over again, you know? My family who was worried about me for a little bit. My friends who were worried about me for a little bit. New friends I've made who, as if they've been there for me for 10 years too. I've had to learn a lot of lessons the hard way. Over and over and over again until they stuck. You know, that's how you know it sticks. I want to thank anybody who subscribed 10 years ago when I started this channel. I want to thank anybody who subscribed in the last year. I want to thank all the subscribers coming in the future. You know, what's the point of making something if you just put it in a vacuum? You know, you get the artistic catharsis from it, you know, but you make media to be consumed by an audience. And I think every artist just wants an audience that their stuff resonates with. And I'm not an artist. I do stand up. I'm just talking colloquially. I make stuff. Content. I think the state of content right now is really toxic and really shitty. And I think the state of stand-up right now is really toxic and really shitty. And I was in a really toxic and shitty place for a long time. And I was reacting to it, I think, very proportionally. If you're just checking in, thanks for checking in. I'm doing better than I have in a decade. That's personally, socially, not financially. Hey, Jimmy, I know I asked for less. Whoops, I'm kidding. No, but for real, thank you guys for being here. This channel might get a little quieter, but I'm going to be making a lot more noise in a lot more other places, especially some places you might not be expecting, very, very soon. So keep an eye out for me everywhere, because that's where I'm going to be. And I have you guys to thank for that. You guys, the parasocial audience, and you guys, the countless people that when I call, they pick up. So many people who have been there over and over and over and over again. I'm very fortunate to have very, very, very good people in New York, North Carolina, LA. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the real people. You know, the parasocial audience is fine, but the real people, you guys have been propping me up like Weekend at Bernie's for quite some time. And it's time I prop myself up. And I have been. And I'm going to continue to. So, thanks.